I'm good.
What up, you piece of shit? Nothing.
Oh crap! I gotta go. Doctor, is either Jake Hudson or Dr. Phil talking right now?
No, that
Or
was
no?
me.
Oh, that's you. Wait, what?
That was me when I had just introduced him. Chris is here, everyone.
Nah, who cares?
The saint of Good Person Inc.
No, no one cares. He's not talking right now.
The false idol himself.
He's not talking right now. He's not talking right now though. So who cares?
No, I know his mic's not working or something.
Get it
I've
to
been
work.
I've been yelling at you the whole time.
Hey,
You didn't hear
hey,
me.
Jacob. I have a question for you. Why is she with you?
Oh, Herman, if you would have, I'll have to
So
talk to you about this offline.
yeah, can you talk to me? You sent me a picture today. I won't mention it online
Yeah.
here, but what
No, no, no,
what's
no.
that all about?
So I sent it. Okay, so I sent it to the PWO group too, and I sent it
Okay,
to you because
yeah.
Jake sent it to me,
Oh God,
and and so
is there a reunion happening?
well, Granny's going through some things,
Oh
and
shit.
I don't know if I don't know, and I don't want to speak on it. I just know they're going through some things.
We'll talk offline, Jacob. Don't worry about
Exactly, and
it.
Jake quick as fuck sends me that fucking picture. And I'm like, that totally reminds me of when he asks all the time, like, why is she with you?
Oh
Because I
shit.
feel like the second somebody's not with somebody, he's ready to slide in the DMs.
Right.
He's got AI pictures made. He's got
Okay.
oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, I got a lot of questions, but I won't ask him online here. There's a
No,
lot
no,
going.
fair enough.
There's a lot going
Just
through my mind right now.
yeah, just I mean, and I honestly don't have the answers because I
No, I
wouldn't
know.
I don't have the guts to ask Granny about that kind of stuff. I feel like
But
he's going through enough where he doesn't need to be explaining this to people on the
no,
internet.
yeah. He's
So
trying to
it's like
improve his
for
life.
me, yeah, I'm not
You know.
I don't like even if you talk to me offline, I wouldn't have any answers.
No,
It
I
would just
know,
be
but
speculation from me.
I need to know more about that picture if you have information on it, because that's pretty fucking funny.
I know who made the picture, and
Oh
somebody else
shit.
made the picture and gave it to Jake, which
Was
is
that
even weirder if you think about the levels of corruption going
it
on.
was Granny himself, watch. He's behind all this.
No, no,
No?
because I sent the picture. So I sent the picture to Granny. I'm in a group chat with
Okay.
Granny
Oh
because me and
shit.
him share a StreamYard,
Oh
and
shit. You're right.
he was getting ready to go on and talk about all of this stuff,
Oh
and he
shit.
did. He talked about it all last night with
Okay.
his puppet that he talks to,
Oh
Tukey
shit.
or whatever, 2K,
Okay.
and he said, I want to use that picture as the thumbnail.
Oh,
Everybody else in the group chat was like, Jake Hudson, that's fucked up. Jake Hudson, that's fucked up. And then Granny's like, no, I want to use it as the thumbnail. I kind of like it. I was like,
he doesn't
fucking Granny.
Granny's hilarious, man.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
pretty funny.
No, it was good.
He's funny. Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely have a conversation offline. Well, why is everyone else so quiet? Am I just taking over?
No, I rambled too much.
Yeah, you're taking over.
Hey, Angel, calm yourself,
Thanks,
boy.
Angel.
Angel's my troll. I've known him for years. We won't tell the story here, but I thought he was a troll. That's how we met. So
I'm just glad he doesn't call everybody like Father Maria or Mother Maria and all that stuff anymore. Like that was much for me. That was too much for me.
You were Daddy Jacob. I remember.
I know.
I had to
Yeah,
remind
I
you.
don't like. It used to drive me up the wall when Angel would come in and call me Daddy.
That made me laugh, man.
Well,
That was
you
toxic.
are like a father figure to me.
Oh, see,
Jacob.
that's okay. That's okay.
That's a fair way to frame it.
That's okay to say it. Well, wait. Well,
Chris,
he dropped out as he says that he drops out.
Chris, try to reconnect. I don't know why your sound's not coming through.
He's muted. No, I'm kidding. No, he's not.
No, it's not. Now he's muted.
Nah, he is. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah, no, it's not coming through at all. No, he
So
muted.
we're either get Jake Hudson or Dr. Phil talking to us when this Chris guy gets on.
I requested Dr. Phil.
Oh God, why did you do that? Oh, see, now he left. Now it's just the three of. Oh no, Angel's back. Shit, I gotta go. I'm kidding. Angel. Shit, I can't ask this online. Fuck, never mind. I'll have to ask you offline, Angel. I was gonna ask some questions, but I don't want to embarrass Angel. So shit. Okay, never mind, Angel. Carry on. Shut up, Herman.
We have a question. Do you prefer the trombone or the tuba?
Oh, geez. Okay, that's a good question. He likes the tuba. Got it. Thanks, Angel.
Is that what he said?
No, he didn't say he didn't say anything.
Angel,
but
did you hear the question? You had a question for you.
Do I prefer the trombone or the tuba? The tuba.
Hell yeah! See, I know my Angel. I know my boyfriend.
What?
I mean,
What?
shit. I mean,
You
damn.
filthy,
I mean,
filthy whore mouth. You shut your filthy, filthy whore mouth.
you know what?
Oh my gosh, Herman.
You know what? Just for old time's sake, can you call me Brother Herman Crab again, Angel, please?
Yeah, brother Herman Crab.
Thank you. I love that. It touches
All
my
right.
heart and other
For
things.
the intermission tonight, I'm pulling up a video from Blue Eyed Diva for Bossman and Herman because
why are you pulling? Did she mention me or something?
no, just the similarities.
She called me one time on Messenger. God,
What? Did she really?
yeah, because in
That's
Pesci's
odd.
chat, this is
Oh,
why
shit.
she called me. So there was someone in Pesci's chat that she thought was Jake, and everyone kept telling her, no, it's not Jake. So she calls me and goes, I know that's Jake. Don't you agree with me? I'm like, you know what? I don't really care. Why are you calling me?
Bossman, you had to give her your number at some point for this to become a thing.
No,
you know that, right?
No, it was on Messenger. It was on Facebook Messenger.
Oh,
okay. I was gonna say. I thought you said cell phone. I think you said phone at first too.
If you ever wanted to, I could totally see Bossman being like, if you ever need somebody to talk to.
Bossman's getting killed tonight by the crowd.
I did tell her something like that when she was talking about.
Oh, I know. Word for word.
Don't do that. Don't. I'll tell you offline, Bossman, why you should never do anything like that with her.
I had never. That's the first time I'd ever seen the name. I had no idea who she was.
Yeah, I've seen her before. She's not.
But
She's not a bad.
That was the reason I brought Herman up in the discussion, is because he shared a picture recently, and I thought I was looking.
I remember that. And
I thought that I thought Herman was taking a picture with Blue Eyed Diva, and he was like, "No, it's a different person." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
I called you, as I recall, I called you an asshole that night.
David Lopez says he's back.
Okay, welcome back. We don't really care, but welcome back.
It's Agent Lopez. You don't talk to him like that.
Oh shoot! I'm so sorry.
ICE. He's ICE and FBI.
Me too.
You better be on your toes.
I'm both. I like ICE, and Facebook Instant is really good too. So it's good stuff. I was trying to come up with something shit. Never mind.
Better mind your P's and Q's, Buster.
I can. I'll try. You know, I was on April's stream and Bossman interrupted me. I was telling a story.
Ice on speed dial. You're probably the only Mexican gentleman I know that has ice on speed dial.
Oh no, there's a bunch of them.
I'm not touching that one.
Bossman can have that one. That was for Bossman.
Yeah, that's for Bossman. I mean, Bossman does live in San Diego. He's you know.
No, look, you know what's weird is both of my wife's parents, they're full Mexican. Both, you know, and
I'm sorry.
All four of them hated Mexicans.
Really?
It was crazy. It took me a long time to get used to it.
That's common. A lot of people.
Okay, but I think it's fair if they're like, did they come here legally?
But I'm not sure their history, and a lot of times it was the ones from like TJ or down in Mexico they really didn't like, but
because I thought it was just the same issue that most American citizens have. If they came here legally, they don't like people jumping the process, and giving a bad name to other Mexican citizens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like other communities could drag you down just because they're from the same country doesn't mean they represent your values.
No, my first mother-in-law just thought she was better than them, and in fact, when my wife and I were looking for an apartment to rent up in a different city, she was with us, and we would pull into the parking lot, and almost instantly she's like, "No, absolutely not. You're not moving here." And like, why? She goes, "Look at all these Mexicans here. You're not going to move in here." Like, what? And I asked my wife, I thought your mom was Mexican. She goes, "She is, but I'll explain later." And then my second wife, her parents put on the birth certificate that their kids were white. They didn't want them speaking Spanish. They moved them to a white neighbor. Like, they were the only Mexican family in this neighborhood at that time, and the only Mexican kids in the school. They didn't want them anywhere near Mexican people, and I just tripped out on that. And my second wife hated Mexicans. Oh yeah, it was crazy. She was. We were at Target. We were at Target.
What are you doing, Jacob?
I was changing my picture because I was going to go to the bathroom real quick, but then I was going to actually address David's comments before I left. He said there's racism inside the culture, and then he said, I'm very fair-skinned. Bambi jokes that I'm darker than you, so saying that Bambi's darker. To be fair, Bambi is like very pale. She's like, and I only say this because I've had a lot of friends that were like, I don't know, dressed darker, or more in like the emo community or like subculture. Like, it wasn't always emo. It was called like, there's a bunch of different terms for it. Not necessarily goth or anything like that, but usually very pale skinned. My favorite band growing up was Him, and they were from Finland, and the guy put like pale makeup on and he kind of looked a little dead. And they like that like pale look. And there's a lot of girls that used to dress up in school like that. And I would say that Bambi fits way into the extra white category. And yeah, no, I've also been mistaken for being a darker race than I actually was, especially in the summer.
David, do they call you Wedo? See how light skinned he is.
David said, here in Arizona, I'm Mexican. In Florida, they think I'm Cuban. In New York, either Puerto Rican or Italian. And he said yes to your question, Bossman.
Oh, really? Wow. That's funny.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to the bathroom. That's the only reason I turned off my camera, Angel. I apologize. Do you like the picture, though, Angel?
Yeah, I love the picture.
Me pondering on a pond with lilies in the background.
Your pink shirt, pink and green shirt.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I look a little Greek in this. Maybe.
I'm glad you're coming out, bro. It's got to be busy.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be epic.
Yep.
It's gonna be huge.
Now we will take a moment.
Herman,
yes.
You're now the host.
Oh,
or
gosh.
Or the hostess.
I don't know. So, Angel, how can I get a hold of you offline? Because I have some questions for you, but I don't want to embarrass you online.
Yeah, you can message me on Messenger.
Are you still on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm still on Facebook, but I have a new account that I created in 2023.
Okay. So it's not one so the old one that I have isn't yours? Or you deleted it?
I believe I'm blocked on my new account that I created in 2023.
You're blocked. I'll have to look at that because I'll look at that. I don't know. Everyone got blocked at one point. Even Bossman got blocked. So you don't be hurt by that, Angel. I'm a psycho anyway. It's okay. But Bossman knows. I'm the host, by the way, everyone. This is the Herman the Great channel. Here, everyone, Herman the Great Variety Channel. Everyone should subscribe to it, including Angel. Bossman's not subscribed because he hates me.
I just subscribed to you.
Appreciate it, Angel. Hey, I need my number one troll out there. Hey, what's up, David? How you doing in the chat?
I was subscribed to you.
No, you probably still are. I had a video go like completely viral. There was a video I made, but back in June, I got 1.4 million views on one of my videos I posted. So I got a crap ton of subscribers from that, and they're. Oh God, what happened? Oh, Jacob moved me to the host seat. Thank you, Jacob. No, can you move me next to Angel?
Right.
Okay, well, it's okay. I don't do much on YouTube anyway, boss man. So if you're not subscribed, you're not missing much. So anyway, everybody, we're waiting for Jacob to get back from the bathroom. We're gonna ask him if he did number 1 or number 2 when he gets back.
If everything came out okay.
Well, I mean, he might have fallen in. He has a tendency to fall into the toilet. Oh, appreciate that. Well, I mean, I don't have the link right now. So, Bossman, can you post my link in Jacob's chat for David?
Sure.
Yeah, because I'm on it. Wait, we have to get Jacob's approval. He's back. Shit. Okay, never mind.
It's also the banner that I put on. If you just type in Herman the Great Variety Channel, you'll be able to find it on YouTube too. I put the
there it is. Yeah.
When I moved
him
up to the top corner, I put the little banner.
Oh, you did? See, I didn't see Jacob. I don't catch these things. I just start talking and getting on a tangent and doing all this shit. You know.
And I pissed and I washed my hands.
Okay. Thank you. With
anything else? David asked him if he washed his hands, and I heard you guys talking about if I did number 1 or number 2. So,
is that a wireless headset?
Yes.
So you can hear us when we're in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or when you're in the bathroom. Yeah.
I often listen to your voice when my pants are down.
Hey man, that's the best time to do it. You know, if you shake it more than twice, you're playing with it, Jacob.
So Herman said that we're listening to Herman the Great show. Whatever he said.
Bossman, you messed it up. No, you gotta start again.
Well, hang on. I only had 2 hours.
Horrible promo.
Read the script, please.
I had 2 hours of sleep. I'm getting delirious. But one time Jacob walked away, and I forget who. It
was Noelle. Noelle.
Yeah.
Is she still around?
And she's like, she starts asking me questions like, well, I'm Jacob's guiding light, and blah, blah. I just had this old spiel. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, he needs a lot of help. And
what'd you say? There was something. It had something to do with Kenny Bolin too. Yeah, you had this big fucking thing, and she was like, "Oh, who's Kenny?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
And then, like
I'm trying to explain this to her.
Excuse me.
A couple of days later, Jacob contacted me, dude. I just heard that.
Yeah, well, it's because Herman, I don't look at my videos until I go to edit them. StreamYard days later, and then it's like, oh shit, Bossman went on this fucking rant with Noelle. It was like one of the second days I had Noelle on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, you did. Noelle's not the sharpest tool in this shit, guys. Come on, that's not nice. You guys are. Come on, Bossman.
Ooh,
David has subscribed.
I appreciate that.
It's a great question in the chat, and I want to address it to everybody.
Please do.
Hands Off Seeds says, "Do crabs think fish are flying?" ?
Could be.
Could be.
I don't know. I don't ask Bossman. He knows everything.
I've always wondered that about fishing. If they thought they were getting abducted when we were just out fishing,
yeah,
we were just going back like they just got abducted and pulled up to a craft and just dropped back down.
Yeah.
What if that's what aliens are doing to us?
Could be that. Well, I mean, fish get poked and prodded and probed.
Yep. Hook them by the lip, pull them into another dimension.
Right. Oh shit! That's what happened. That's something that happened to me today. My conspiracy theory neighbor that I would love to have on your show, Jacob. It'd be great.
I know you tell me about him all the time.
I know, but he talked to me for like the first time in 6 months, and he told me to stay away from my other neighbor, and it was kind of quite intense.
Conspiracy people are scared of the internet.
I know, but he has a blog. I'll have to link you to it, but he's gonna shut it down.
Because sharks drink water. That's a good question.
Yes, they do. They do.
No, they don't they?
Oh, probably.
Don't. Do you drink air?
I breathe air. And drink it sometimes. Angel.
Actually, to be fair, I have been to an oxygen bar.
Yeah.
So I guess I have drank air.
Wake up, Angel.
I'm up.
Oh, I didn't think you were.
He's raging over there. He's making frozen pizzas and shit.
Probably. No, I heard he gave those up. I heard he's still drinking Dr. Pepper, though. Are you still riding your bike around town, Angel?
Yeah, I'm still riding my bike around town.
Man, I watched some classic clips of you riding the bike around and just like entertaining the masses, bro. Remember when you twerked on someone on what's her name's channel? Oh crap! I remember you were twerking on a channel. It was hilarious. What's up?
Is it April?
No, it was not. It wasn't April. No, it was another channel. But it was pretty funny.
I've always wondered that question too, but I feel like we'll never have an answer to that. If you jump in a hole that goes straight through the earth, when you get to the middle, do you keep going down or do you reverse back to the way you jumped in? Or I've never understood that one either.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? That's what I want to know.
The world may never know. Mr. Owl.
Mr. Cow, yes. How many licks does it take to get to Tootsie Pop?
It's an owl, not a cow.
Know.
It's a cow. It's a cow now.
It's not a cow. It's an owl.
Don't ruin Angel's story.
The longer version of the commercial has 3 different animals before the owl.
Really?
A cow, a fox, a turtle, and an owl.
What does the fox say, Angel?
Oh!
Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Angel. Angel's mad that I still haven't blocked apparently on Facebook. I'll have to unblock him. But I told him don't feel special. I block everybody at least once in their life. I blocked Jacob 5 times.
I only noticed one of them.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, good. No, it was probably only one. But
that was the reaction I was looking for.
I know. Yeah, right. It was only one. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Well, I guess I got to do it again, asshole.
I guess I got to do it. Well, I mean, I did get rid of over 200 friends on my Facebook that I just didn't need anymore. Jacob got spared. Stock Explorer Nora got spared. Bossman, I don't know if he got spared. Who cares? Angel got blocked for the 50th time. And yes, everyone, Angel and I are still friends. We had our rough patch moments, but we're still friends.
Yeah, we have.
Everyone has rough patches in their friendships, Angel.
Yeah.
Look at Jacob and I. We've had some rough patches too.
We have.
Herman, when's the last time Jake called you and what time of night was it?
Shoot, I don't remember. Wait, which are you talking about? Which Jake?
The oldie Jake.
Oh yeah, well I don't know. No, you never call me. That's true.
I
don't call you either.
Never called you on your phone because I don't think I have your actual phone number.
You can have my phone number. I will give it to you.
I think you just have like a text now number or a Google Voice number. It's not a real number.
I called Jacob on Messenger one time, but
I call him Messenger sometimes, and he sometimes.
We talk to each other on Messenger.
Yeah.
Well, remember that, Jacob? Remember that with that? They were posting all kind of stuff about you.
Yeah.
I forget who it was.
Oh, I remember. And I knew exactly when you told me it, what exactly I was going to do. And I would have done it the exact same way.
Yeah, I called you up.
I wasn't going to tell. I wasn't going to tell because I knew what you wanted me to do. You wanted me to yield. And I was like, no, what the fuck? No. I knew what you meant and you explained it well. I didn't want you to think you and Chris were saying the same thing to me.
Yeah.
Chris just had a weird way of saying it.
Yeah, I flipped out. I said, "Oh man, I got to get a hold of Jacob." I didn't know you already knew about it.
Oh yeah, I knew when it was coming and when it was going to start, and I was receiving warnings, and I thought the trickle off was funny because Mermaid was posting that she wanted them to help take me down and all this stuff, and I thought it was hilarious. She was just like, "Oh yeah, I hope they all go after Jacob," because it's just of course, all of my enemies were gonna jump in against anything that had to do with me. And I was like, "Oh, this is funny." But and I get their side of it. I get that they thought I was supporting somebody, but it's just this is kind of what I do with all my guests. A great example is that guy that came on earlier first. I don't agree with half the things he said. I was trying to figure him out. And maybe it's because he was a little drunk, but at the same time, he does feel the way he was talking about the people he was talking about. And I don't feel that way. I thought I made it clear that I don't feel that way. I can still talk to people and not agree with them. I don't have to I don't think I have to separate myself. I think discussion is good and freedom of speech is good. And I think the best way to sort out bad ideas is to actually have a discussion about them.
And you think he had sugar in the gas tank?
Who?
The guy.
Yeah. Just looking at the guy.
Then don't you think what he was saying was just for shock value then?
No, I think he was coping with an internal dialogue, and I think it was it was self-deprecating. I think he feels a certain type of way about how he feels about himself, and I think he might take it out on others. And I do think there was a little shock value to it, of course, but it was. I think it belittled that when I told him you're probably not the first, and you won't be the last white guy to come on here and say the N-word. Like, you might have said it the most times in a matter of an hour or something like that, but
yeah.
Of my hairline, probably not very many. Hanzo. No, I have a very receding hairline. I'm not really a fan of it. I wear too many ski caps when I was younger. It runs all the way back. And so what I started doing is I started cutting my hair short on the side where it actually runs along my hairline. But yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think this is kind of it's a midlife crisis. Widow's peak. You have to actually have the hair structure that is for that. My cousin has one because it's just the way his hair comes in. My hair doesn't come in that way though. But this was a funny comment, and I wanted to bring it up. He said, "So my pooper scooper guy that cleans up my backyard just found out I don't have a dog." I was like, "That's pretty good." Yeah, I like that.
That's hilarious. The fact that your pooper scooper guy found out that you don't have a dog is hilarious.
Angel, I thought your next question was going to be, wait a minute, who's pooping in your yard? Is it you? Who be doing the poopins? So, gentlemen, are we out of? Just going to be landscaping tomorrow. Doing some mowing tomorrow, and might go to the fair tomorrow night. Then I got mixed martial arts practice from 3 to 6. PremierHell, what up, man? Good to see you. You're always welcome to join us. That would keep me in conversation for another hour. I haven't talked to PremierHell in a long time.
But Herman's side off again?
I don't know if he popped off or if he's popping back on or what. Did I draw the pictures in the background? No, I didn't draw. Are you talking about the ones behind me or the ones on the back of the screen? The ones behind me, they're just posters. You got a Conor McGregor poster. I think it's a Lonely Heart Club band. Yeah, I'm not an artiste. Bossman, guess who just popped in the background?
Who?
Rival Red is back.
Oh, jeez.
Rival, you said the N-word too many times, man. I can't have you up right now. I told you that earlier. But Premier, I'll bring you up. What up, Premier? Good to see you.
Hey, Premier.
What's up, Angel? How you doing?
Doing all right, my man.
Good to hear.
I love you. Missed you, man.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you too. Yeah, I've just been fighting some some illegal shit happening in my court case with my kids. So
illegal stuff in what way? What do you mean?
The court's basically they're running on void orders, and I've been pointing out they're void, so they're illegally keeping the kids from me. So I have a civil rights claim that's gonna fucking probably give me a lot of money in the future.
What state do you live in? Just so I'm trying to figure. Or wait, actually, what state is the case being held in?
In Washington, they allowed relocation without service, and my protection order had a recused judge reschedule the hearing to a special set. She recused herself because she used to be the attorney to the mother. So that alone is conflict of interest, and it requires an immediate recusal because of once she set that hearing, that made that hearing void. And my attorney was such a slacker and freaking just terrible. Like and I've already got a lawsuit on him, and so we'll see how that plays out. But the courts will not admit to their void order.
Were you guys, did you guys share 50-50 custody, or was she the primary?
Well, yeah. No, I had full custody for the last 2 years. I filed contempt on her in July of last year. And then she came up on a Greyhound bus, came up, demanded to see the children. I went and got a temporary parenting plan, which was I didn't serve her with a summons or a petition, so they voided it because any major modification requires a certain amount of time and a summons and a petition. So I didn't do it right to give enough to get jurisdiction back then. And so they gave her the kids 3 days later, although they said it was supposed to be a week.
Well, I thought it was the same thing for, and I thought it was the same thing for like CPS being able to get your kids. Like there actually has to be a court order backed behind something. It can't just be. It can't just be.
But that's the thing. Even the CPS case that happened in 2020, after they couldn't, there was no findings. Once they was an unfounded letter, the judge held on to it illegally and said that I'm not going to drop the case until I can get a agreed parenting plan. And I was forced into a 50-50 custody after having full custody for 7 years. Almost 7 years. And by them forcing it with the judge from the reason why it's void in that is because a judge from the juvenile court moved into the superior court without proper jurisdiction and without authority and signed that parenting plan. That's why that parenting plan is void, and my original parenting plan is the only one that's logically in effect. But I tried to alter that parenting plan. Either way, it's more complex than you'd ever realize. But once I looked into it, looked into the laws, there is no proof of him properly transferring jurisdiction because the judge has to properly transfer the jurisdiction before he obtains it. And just like proper service, proper summons, a judge has to gain judicial authority. And a judge cannot. It's according to CR 60 or no, it's the way that they transfer. They have to transfer they have to transfer jurisdiction properly. They can't just go from juvenile court to where they have jurisdiction to superior court and gain and sign a temporary parenting plan. So he went out of jurisdiction to do that. So it's valid. It's valid. It's only valid until somebody challenges it. And so as soon as I challenge it, it should be voided.
That's why I asked what state it was, because depending on the state, I went through very interesting legal battles when I was younger. It took me a long time to realize that fathers in Illinois do not have any rights to their kids, regardless of if you're on the birth certificate or anything like that. Like you have to establish paternity in order to even be recognized as a father, really? Which is a very strange thing depending on the state you live in. And there was documents I had to sign to stop people. Like if I was with somebody. What was that?
And I think you're automatically you have federal rights to your kids that the state cannot take away.
But the state's rights supersede federal on a certain level. So it just depends on what's being dealt.
Yeah, they're the ones that are supposed to honor federal law, but federal stays out of it until they violate your constitutional rights. And you have a fundamental constitutional right to be a parent to your child.
That's like asking if all police officers follow the Constitution, and I would say no.
No, they don't even know the Constitution.
Yeah.
Most
And they're
people
not
are just
required
on-
to because of local ordinances usually succeed federal law.
Yeah, that's just bullcrap, man. Because we're losing our country. We had all of our freaking ancient cousins and relatives die for us to have a free country, and they're turning it into a communist nation. It's annoying.
This is a funny comment. I know we're talking about a serious topic, but funny comment came in. He said, "I bet the judge got mad at you because you showed up with that hat on."
Yeah, it's the Frosty. It's the Frosty the Snowman hat.
And then also another good question came in. If you could sit down with one person in history, not religious, that has passed or is still alive, you could ask any question. What would the question be, and who would the person be?
I would ask Enoch, how long was it before God took you?
He said not religious.
Does that count as
Well, that's not
religious?
religion. Well, it's still
It's just
history.
it's
Well,
just a
it's in
it's
the
just a
Bible, but
person.
I didn't. It wasn't. I mean, the Bible's not religious. The Bible's just the Bible. You religion based off the Bible, but I didn't. I wasn't really thinking
Yeah,
it was
I think
religious.
that's separate from religion. I agree with you because I do think Enoch is one of the most important people in the Bible, but I don't think he's considered a religious figure.
You know, he
No.
ascended to heaven without dying, right?
Yeah,
Well,
he's
yeah,
one of the few people on the planet that ever did.
Yeah.
and then Elijah was the second one, and that was an interesting thing. I mean, religion didn't exist back in those days. I mean, religion started existing after Christ.
Yeah, no, what
No,
happened
it
to Enoch
didn't.
sounded like
No, it didn't.
what happened to Enoch
It
though
did
sounded like
not.
abduction to me.
Who do you think killed Christ? The Sadducees and Pharisees had him arrested. There was
Yeah, but okay, well,
Yeah, but Enoch
you're right.
times you're
Religion.
talking about the Old Testament too. That's like Old Testament stuff though, way prior to Jesus.
Yeah, but even when Jesus was alive, there was religion. That's why he rebuked.
But it wasn't really considered religion back then. It was considered the law. Like they called it the law back then.
Whatever.
No,
It was a religion.
Jesus didn't say he just followed the law. He said he was a Jew. Jesus was Jewish.
Well, Jesus said he was above the law because he wrote the law. I mean, that's what I got out of it, anyways.
Jesus said, "I didn't come to abolish the law; I came to fulfill it."
Exactly. Yeah, but he's also the one that wrote the law, so he can
I thought he said
discern what the law means.
Who is it that says that we should subside to man law as well? Is that in the Bible somewhere that we should follow man law?
Give Caesar's things to Caesar's, and God's things to God.
But that was about taxes, though.
But it was also do not put any other God. We know the rules of what it is to, but
Well, when he said that, the religious leaders
he meant taxes. He was really referring to taxes. But you also got to give the respect, and I think respect is one thing that they, Caesar's things. Caesar's things doesn't.
okay,
I mean, he said
but
plural.
hold on. So the reason that was said was the religious leaders were trying to trap him. So if he said no, you shouldn't pay taxes, they could run to the Romans and say, "Hey, this guy's trying to rile up people and they're not paying you taxes." And then the Romans would do something. Or if he said, yes, you should pay taxes, they could go to the people that were following him and say, hey, this guy wants you to pay him taxes. So they were trying to trap him. So that's when he just flipped it back to him and said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Right.
On another level, I think it was more of when the government got involved in religion and they wanted people to be subservient to the government as well.
The government used to base all of its laws on and that's why we used to hold up our hand on a Bible, and we still do to this day, because it's not completely separate, church and state, because we still hold up our hand and swear that we're saying something. We used to hold up our hand against the Bible, and to show that we're gonna God's gonna eventually hold us accountable if we're lying. That's where perjury. That's why they don't even attack perjury, because they let God do that. That's their whole thing. And then they always still talk about the spirit of the law in actual law. So I mean, or the law is literally came from religion, or not religion, but from biblical understanding. I think religions, I mean, there's only one real religion. There's only one, and religion just means a group of understanding, right?
Bossman, hold on, Bossman. You got wind or something coming through. I can't hear.
Yeah,
Premier.
I do. Yep.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what Premier was saying.
No, I just think that there's the religion is just, there's so many different religions, it becomes a distraction, because you don't need religion to understand God. You don't need religion to worship God. You don't need religion. Religion became,
religion is man-made.
yeah, I think religion is literally something that, because I was always thinking it would be bad to attack religion, but no, religion, false religion is false religion. I mean, there can only be one correct way, in my opinion, that, but it seems like all religions are just arguing over the same thing, and some of the stuff is moot. Like, it's just moot. Like, just because you think that this happened, and even though it didn't happen, or it's just, or you feel it's this way, but you're saying the same thing just in a different context.
This is
Because I get in
kind of where
arguments with my dad all the time over this. We're literally arguing the same point, but we don't see how related and accurate we both are at the same exact, making the same exact understanding. We're coming to the same understanding, but we're not. So, I mean, it's just religion. Religion, I think, is just used as a tool to confuse us.
I don't even think it's that. I think religion was based on this idea of what humans did when they didn't know how to explain something. They did the best they could to try to understand something, and they wrote it down and tried to describe what they were seeing. And I think, like, we can look back all the way back to the Sumerians. I feel like they were kind of the first written religion that we looked at, and all of it kind of trickles down and evolves into the religion that we have today. And I think there's overlaps, but I do think they're all talking about the same thing. But I have a problem believing in any earthly religion because, like Bossman said, they're kind of man-made. But I do think there's pieces of truth in there, and everybody should be able to take and, decipher what is bullshit for you, because there is a lot of man-made stuff put in it. But there's actually a good chat question I wanted to pose to you guys.
But Jacob,
Christianity
go ahead. Is not man-made. The religion that within Christianity is man-made.
And I also think all of our laws are based on Judeo-Christian ideologies in the West.
Yep.
But Hands Off Seat said, did Paul hijack Christianity and the Council of Nicaea actually change the religion of what Jesus and James actually wanted Christianity to be?
No.
Yeah, see, I'm not even familiar with that, so I'd be interesting to.
A lot of people say that, but I don't.
There's a lot of misconstrued information about the Council of Nicaea and what they actually did, and I think that's where people misinterpret what actually happened and where Christianity went from that. I think they were trying to establish a base of ideas to move forward. I don't think it was setting rules for everybody. They were just trying to all get on the same page. Is this verse talking about Paul considering it was Ephesus? Is that the name right? Say they.
I think you said Ephesians.
Say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars. Revelations 2:2, King James Version. I know thy works and thy labor and thy patient, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil, and thus hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars. Revelations 2:2, James King.
I know I'm not an apostle because I don't follow everything, and apostles would try their gender.
Is that the letter to Ephesus, the church in Ephesus? Is that what they're saying?
I think that's what he is referring to.
Yeah, I think is this verse talking about Paul considering it was Ephesus?
What about
he was wondering if the verse is talking about Paul, and then he went on to say the verse.
I don't believe it's talking about Paul, though.
Paul just teaches you the rules about marriage, doesn't he? Isn't that
No,
Paul's big
but
thing?
also Paul literally had the struggles with it. He actually Paul teaches a lot, even about the time and the space of God. Like he really Paul goes through Corinthians because he wrote Corinthians, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's the one that really went and told a lot about what happens after like when the what's coming and how our bodies are going to be changed and how we have a body in heaven while we have one on earth. And he talks about the time of God that a lot of people can't even like. Well, you have to read it carefully because it says 1,000 years is but one day, and one day is but 1,000 years to God. That you know what that means? That means that 1,000 years, God's time is a much faster and outside of our realm of time. So one 24-hour period to God is a lot longer to him than it is to us.
I think it's
Because he
easy for
literally,
modern day. I think it's easy for modern day humans to understand. Like if you think about how long science thinks of the Earth being a thing, how long have humans been intelligent and on this planet doing something? Like if you were to do it in like a movie form, I think we'd be less than a minute of the movie or less than a couple seconds. They said, like when you think
in
about
the
the story of the
outskirts
Earth.
of with the outskirts of actually what affinity means and what time means, the only thing that gives light to time is what he gives us. He gives us the time by his. That's the only reason we can actually perceive what's going on is because of how he created us. Because if we were going at this, if we knew everything like he did, we'd be in the third dimension or the fourth dimension, excuse me. We're already in the third dimension. In the third dimension, I mean, it's just scientific kind of stuff, but now I kind of can see what they're looking at. But it's just God is in like a different realm of time because he's the one that puts everything in perspective. The living God, that's the father of Jesus. That's the father of the God. That's the life. That's the first who created the firstborn of all creation. That is the one and only, the creator of all things. I mean, is he
Well, and then
through
trying to
Jesus?
encompass
Which is kind of,
that inside of the Trinity as well is also a
yeah,
battle.
but they don't realize that they're the same. They're not the same exact entity because they have their own purpose, but they were so much alike. It's like father, like son in a way, but it's still they have the same. They know the will of each other, so it's pretty much they are pretty much entangled, but they have separate. I think they have separate. I mean, I can't say for certain because I'm not them, but I have a feeling that they have a separate, just like we have separate. But I think that everything on this planet is through God, and all the only thing that's different is our brains. We have the spirit of God in everyone on this planet. Every life form has got the spirit of God in it. And the only thing that makes us different is our shell in our body. You know, so technically we have God within us. I mean, that's what it says in
I
Corinthians.
think I think we're created in the image of God, but I'd like to think of the higher power as so much higher from our dimension that it couldn't experience the things that we experience on this planet. And I think it uses humans vicariously to have experiences. And I think that's why
I
we're
think,
allowed to go through our own tribulations and trials in order to come to the same conclusion in the end if we
and I think
find it,
that's
or we might
exactly why
not.
if Jesus, what I'm saying is like why Jesus came down and died is to experience it the way he wanted to. Like he wanted to feel what we felt, and he literally had to have his spirit come down to experience it. And once he experienced it, he realized what's really going on in this world. He realized the pain, he realized the suffering, and he realized what he can experience because God can't experience the pain. God can't experience the suffering. God can't experience the fear, but he literally came down and experienced all that.
I did think
And,
he
and
experienced some of it vicariously through the son.
well, I mean, he said, "Why have you forsaken me?" And that's the fear of being forgotten. I mean, I mean,
but wouldn't that be an
that's
internal battle if it is the Trinity? Isn't it
no, I'm not
like
arguing.
a self?
I'm not. The Trinity is the most. I think it's just the way it's understood. I think it's accurate. I just think it should remain a mystery until God reveals it, because technically we don't know 100% for sure. We can always just say that we do, but we can base it off, and unless you got concrete scripture to back it up and then not, because a lot of the scriptures, they can be interpreted, because the English language is more complex. I mean, it's complex because our English language is easily twisted. We can twist words around to make it mean something else.
Yeah, we do it with symbolism and words.
Yes. And so that's the only thing is I like to keep it in your heart. Well, if you seek it, you will figure it out. And I just don't want anybody to get stubborn to the point where they think they know everything. Because even I keep an open mind, but my heart tells me I'm right. But I keep an open mind to keep. Is it possible they're the same exact entity? But it makes no sense to me if Jesus was on the planet and he don't know the day and the hour, then technically they're not the same entity.
Yeah.
So that's where I
let me
draw
catch
the
up the
line
chat
on
for a
on
second.
the fact that they're the same person.
Ephesus rejects Paul, says Hands of Seed. He said, did you know that Paul never even met Jesus? And then he also said, Jacob, who are you named after? I was actually talking about this earlier tonight. And we looked up, because I was curious to, because I think the idea, and I'm probably going to frame this wrong, and I probably shouldn't even reframe it now. I think the idea that Israel and the Jewish people are interchangeable is a bad idea for society. I don't think the Israel that we think of nowadays is the land of the Jews, and I think more Jewish people live outside of Israel. I would say probably the most Jewish people probably live in the United States, if I had to be accurate about it. But we looked up the scripture, and Israel was the name given to Jacob after he wrestled with God. And I was having this internal dialogue in my head. I was in wrestling for 21 years, and my name's Jacob. And I often find myself wrestling with the idea of religion in general. And I just had this realization when we were talking like an hour ago. I don't know if there's a correlation to it or anything like that, but it was just an internal dialogue I was having in my head about what we just looked up. And I know, because I've looked up my name before, and it means held by the heel of Isaiah, or something like that. Or and then Bossman said something about the healed one, or held by the heel. I don't remember. There's a few things tied to the name Jacob, and it's of course a biblical name and very old.
I think it's funny that you say that, because it's not a coincidence that we're talking right now. It's just, you could consider it a coincidence, but I think that all things happen for a reason, and whoever's watching, they might need to hear it. But I think it's just maybe me and you needed to talk, because you're opening my eyes to certain things that because I've been through some certain things. I've had some eye-opening, enlightening. I've seen things that other people haven't seen. I've understood things, even though I'm not perfect. And I know that anybody claiming they're perfect is probably the worst. I mean, you can't claim you're perfect, even though you might be perfect in your love, but not in your actions, but in your understanding too. But I think that there's a lot of people out there that have pure love in their hearts, and they know what it is. And it's a lot of people don't want to touch on that because they don't know. They don't want to really focus on what the most important thing to God is. And I think the most important thing to God is the love, that he gets vengeance and rage, but ain't nobody going to do something wrong to somebody when they have love and understanding up towards everybody else. They're going to be just like Jesus was. Forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. Because literally, I'm still sinning, even smoking's technically not listed as a sin, but I know it's hurting me, so I know it's a sin. I know when I'm drinking, or if I'm everything I do, anything I do, the desires of the flesh. That's what Paul always talks about, because he cannot really. He struggles with the flesh, like left and right, because that's what the desires are. Like the desires to drink, to smoke, to whatever. Because it's not a sin to drink. It's a sin to get drunk to the point where you're just embarrassing the Lord.
Yeah, the over interpretation of it, I think, can be drug out to like gluttony in any sense, like because you have AC in your house. Like, well, because you have air conditioning in your house, does it make you a sinner?
I don't know. I mean, that part I couldn't really.
Do you need it to survive, or is it for comfort?
It's for comfort. You don't need it to survive.
So it's like you can break things down to make them seem like a sin. I think we know what's wrong and what's right. And if you were to say, oh, this person's struggling outside while I have AC, can't come in, then that would actually be more towards what I would consider a bad act or something like that. But it wouldn't be, to me, bad just because you have accommodations in modern times. But what you were just talking about prior to this, I constantly battle with this internally, and this is kind of why I try to like avoid conversations with people about like I appreciate the compliment. Somebody in the chat said I was intelligent, or like I'm very conceited, and I do whatever I can to stop worrying about the self so much, because I am very into myself. I do worry about the way I look. I do worry about the way I come off to people and stuff like that more than I should. So most of the time I am having an internal dialogue with myself about not thinking you have all the answers, not thinking you're the greatest, not thinking you're special. And I do that personally because it keeps me grounded, because otherwise I think the ego gets in the way.
You're right. Exactly. It's like, that's why he says grace. That's the most important thing. It's like, we are not saved because we're anything. It's like, this way nobody can boast. Where does it say that? Nobody can we're saved by grace alone, so that nobody can boast. And boasting is what leads to pride, and what also leads to jealousy, which also leads to other things. That's why the boasting and stuff. It's just, that's what happened with Adam, Cain and Abel. He got jealous because God favored him, but in Cain's eyes, he's like, well, I'm giving him my enough. I gave him my thing, not the best. He didn't give him the best lamb and sheep. I always thought it was the other way around, to be honest with you, because I never thought that God would like to see a lamb or an animal sacrifice. So my mind,
I think that's
whole entire life, switched the lamb and the. I always thought that Abel was the one with the melons, and Abel was the one with the slaughtering his not so perfect lamb.
Well, and I always thought that was I always thought it was the older ideology bleeding through to sacrifice of any sort was a way that we found things necessary for other gods, not for the God that we think of today. That's where I think Judeo-Christian ideas have evolved.
But the God that I realized and I know now is that God does not want you to bow down with anybody that deserves any bowing down. But he's a God that gets pissed off when you bow down to other idols, when he doesn't even want you to bow down to him. All he wants you to do is listen to him and love him like he loves you. And that's the God we really have. From my understanding, from my research, he's not a God that wants you to just bow down on your knees and do it. No, he wants you to communicate with him and talk to him. That's the God that I'm realizing that is out there. It's not it's just, it makes more sense because of everything he said, in everything and how he acts. He's not a God. He's a God that wants to be partying in heaven with everybody that he can trust.
I'm gonna catch up
he's not dancing around up there with whatever the heck, throwing rocks, playing baseball. He's not a. He's I don't know. That's just my perspective of God. That's why it's easy for him to look the other way about
everybody,
stuff that
and I think everybody should have a different perspective of God. But I do think God wants you to fear Him, but it's in a different way. It's like a respectful fear and understanding of power, not you should always be trembling in my presence. It's not that type of fear. It's a respect fear. It's a leader of the house fear. It's the way you treated your father, as long as he wasn't hurting you. Like you understood it was a leader role. It wasn't something else. I wanted to catch up the chat though. Amen, Jacob. Why does one tribe take the image of the tribes when there's literally 10 other tribes who were scattered? Your name is powerful. I can tell you're intelligent. Yeah. And my biggest problem with it in politics today is the way that the political leverage is used. Like, if we're talking something political with Israel and then somebody references the Holocaust, I think they're different things. I think the genocide of any people is a horrible thing, but I do not think, just like I don't think it would do any good to give reparation to the great grandkids of people that were involved in slavery. I don't necessarily think that's going to help the people that were actually affected. And that's kind of the idea that I get with the religious nation state of Israel. I don't think that they're tied to the Jews in the way that they want to be, and I think they use it as a.
I still think that the prophecy will unfold in those locations more accurately because it's just going to fulfill scripture. But I think in the heart of the land of where it says it's like it's really a realm of understanding all across the world. Like it is like the people that are part of God all over the world. Anybody that calls upon the name of God, and in the name of God is not called Savior. It is Yahweh or Jehovah or YHWH. But you know the name of God is Father because the Father of all life is, and that I think that's why Jesus didn't say, the God's name to pray His name. He wanted you to recognize the Father of life and pray to the Father of life out of respect because you wanted to call Him your Father. Because if you call Him Father, it's more understandable. And if you call Him by name, but you're still calling on His name when you need Him, but Father would work better than anything. And probably YHWH might be pronounced Father or the breath of life, because of that I heard that say that makes sense too. Because He is the Father,
the
the
inhaling. Yeah, I've heard the breath of life.
And that might be a way of saying Father, Who knows? I mean, only one that really knows is the one that's been saved by God, or the one that is God.
No, I agree with that. It's a good way to phrase it.
So I'm not special. I'm special because I feel I know things, but I think everybody's special because I want everybody to know things.
Yeah.
And my real name is Dawn.
And that's the craziest thing is I think people are getting farther and farther away from wanting that knowledge. I think we're actually getting farther and farther away from organized religion as a society, but I don't necessarily know if it's a bad thing. If you can take the messages of religion away from the actual, we're judging you by your attendance of how good of a Christian you are and how many donations you've made. Like, I think like that's what Bossman was talking about. He goes, even the church can end up being an idol worship. Like it very much can evolve into that depending on what their
they got okay. The reason why I really think that I even asked ChatGPT this. I asked an AI.
Actually, let me pause you for 2 seconds because you got a couple questions come up in the chat for you. Before they get too far away. PremierHell, what do you know about Guyana? Gehenna?
That's from my understanding, Guyana is the part where you're so ashamed you're pretty much in a state of you're in this state of so ashamed that you've disgraced God that you just don't want to live anymore. God's really mad at you for what you've done. You're going to be God's really mad at you. Again, is like that's my understanding. Is like you have sinned against God to high heaven, and you pretty much done what the angels did, disgracefully went down and corrupted his creation, and it's unforgivable. Deanna's like
I was going to
that's
ask you.
what my understanding is of Guyana.
I was going to ask you, Premier. Do you think all religions recognize the different angels, or do
No,
most religions just identify one set of angels as like we think about in like Greek mythology of like winged creatures or like cupids or something?
to be honestly, I don't think I don't think I have enough knowledge to answer that. I mean, I'm just from what I
Because
know, I
I
think
because I've heard
there's
of like the
there's
cherubim.
over
Well, I've heard of like
there's
the
over 100,000
cherubim, and I've heard of a lot of
religions.
different. I've heard of like the cherubim and a lot of different other classes of angels, and some of them are the ones that are just surrounding God. Some of the ones are the fallen angels that came to Earth to mate with men and kind of rebelled against God. The main angel that was very conceited and ended up being the ruler of hell. Like I didn't know if there was.
You don't think there's I mean, I really don't believe that there's I mean, I think that's a mythological understanding because the Bible says in multiple places that there is no hell. Literally, the Bible itself has pointed out, but the hell that Jesus was talking about is after the second resurrection, and when he brings us back to perfection, and then the book of life is open. That's the hell that the being left out because the second chance that we're gonna get, and we turn that down and fail that second chance. That's or even being able to skip that second chance, that's Gehenna. From what I remember, I understood at the time of me understanding, because it's been a long time I looked into that. But just from my perspective, there's just a lot to go through when it comes to like the ancient angels, and and it's just something I really think that people need to they need to find that out. You need to, because really the spirit's the only thing that can really help you understand that, because you got to really have a
Well,
connection.
I think there's some deep, actually, like rooted things, especially when you talk about like the Tower of Babel and the language that they used to speak, and that lost knowledge that was considered to be the language of the angels, to the best of my knowledge, and
No,
all of it was lost knowledge.
It was the original word of God, and I was like, I was just talking to my dad before he went to bed. It was like, you know what? Back in the day, the word could do what you told it to do. The word created the heavens and the earth. God said, and so you literally could say to a rock, move up there on the thing, position yourself exactly where I want you, or where you need to be. You pretty much just. But the creepy thing, not creepy, it's just amazing. Actually, the right word. I'm trying to find the right word. The amazing thing is that everything seems to happen as like there really is a destiny, even though that's kind of defeats the purpose of free will in my logical sense. But free will is the one thing that made the devil. That's what really makes the devil necessary.
So I
It
think
proves free will. It
I
proves
think
that
you
you
can.
don't have to do what God created the ability for his creations to not have to worship him. Is that not the coolest creation? The only thing that I know is the best creation of God is the fact that he made free will possible. And that has got to be the most astronomical, besides the astronomical part of the universe, but that is far beyond astronomical. And that just shows that all things are possible with God.
But I do understand why humans have that question, like, why am I here? What is my purpose? Blah, blah, blah. And I think it is a very interesting question. And I think your life can be predetermined, but you could still have the free will of how you get to the end destination. And I think of this a lot with timelines when I'm talking to people about time travel and stuff like that. I think there's certain events that are considered staples, like the outcome is always going to lead to the same thing. It's like a river. You can have huge boulders inside of the river where the water goes around it, and it slightly veers off course, but it's still flowing the same way. It's still going to lead to the same place, but your maneuvering through the river can vary slightly, and that's where I consider your free will to be. But I do think people are eventually headed to the same destination of where they're supposed to be at.
If you ever read the whole entire Revelations, because believe me, it's not easy to read the whole entire book of Revelation. I've read the whole entire book of Revelations, and my favorite part of the book of Revelations is that there's a sea of people with palm branches that no man was able to number. You know what that wakes me up to tell me? That tells me that pretty much everybody eventually gets saved, and God is there, and He is with His people, and in the new heavens and new earth, and the old heavens and the old earth have passed away. Pain will be no more. No mourning, no outcry, no everything. It's eventually everything gets gone, and we all party with God. I mean, it's gonna be amazing. And Simon, the more people realize the good news. That's why it says the good news. I don't see anybody preaching the good news. They say they're preachers, but all they preach is doom and gloom, and they never say, well, after the gloom, there's gonna be a good boom. No, they don't teach anything after the boom. It's always the big boom. It's always fear factor, always fear mongering. It's just no. There is good news after the fact that will be bad. Things are going to be very terrible. So bad that the man has not seen it. It says it's going to get so ridiculous, worse than the flood, worse than before the flood.
I think it's interesting if you look into the past, you can find a lot of old writings about people that say Revelations has already happened. I think there's some interesting.
No, it already happened because
I understand. I understand why you think it couldn't have already happened, but at the time when these people wrote that they thought it already happened, when they had people on horseback riding in to conquer them, coming from certain directions, and they already had revelations, I could see why they would think that. But actually, let me catch up the chat really quick. Guyana is where the unbelievers will spend eternity in the lake of fire. I didn't know that. Because I do think in general the idea of hell as we know it was kind of a construct. I think what gives it the most merit is something like Dante's Inferno is probably the closest thing we have as a representation of hell. So did it eventually end up being a scare tactic with the church? Guyana turns into hell. I would intervene and say that the only ones that are predetermined are
the
Zadok.
144,000. Anyways, I don't think that the Bible says multiple times that when you die, you don't go to hell. Your thoughts perish the very day you die. It's pretty much life is the opposite of birth. I mean, death is the opposite of birth. So you go back to where you went. Dust you are, to dust you will return. So there is no such thing. Hell was an invented scenario. Jesus is the only. Everybody's going to get a second chance. God Himself will wipe out every. Doesn't mean not one person. It says God Himself will wipe out every tear. I'm sorry that there's most likely because the whole thing is it's God. This is kind of funny because I'm on void orders, and it's like now I'm going, damn. Well, I guess if I go back before the parenting plan, and if I go back to the Bible and go back to the whole thing of we're under a curse that is void because Jesus saved us all. So He voided the order, and now eventually God's going to fix it all, and He'll wipe out every fear.
So I want to say to Hands of Seeds, have a great evening. Guess got another weird. I just got another weird correlation when you said this, and now his name's all making sense. Hands of Seeds. I like this. So Jacob, I have to go. Your aura is powerful. Your name labels you as someone who needs to be a beacon. You have You have the intelligence and the lineage. I hope I have planted a seed. Only you can grow it. Remember when I was talking earlier about my name and Israel and wrestling with God and this and that?
No,
So
you
he's just
definitely are,
giving
dude.
me the other side of me. Just took this message kind of personally. So I'm a landscaper, and I'll do the best to hold on to the seeds that you've given me today.
Good stuff.
Revelations is a very easy book to understand if you follow the outlines Jesus gave to John. LOL, hell is real. I just think it's. I just think. Well, because I was talking about this when you walked away for a second, and I think the idea of hell that we have, though, I think is really based on Dante's Inferno and like our modern day interpretation of it.
I don't think hell is what we really make it out to be. Hell is a separation of lack of knowledge, and it's what you don't think that Adam and Eve went through hell when they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden? That was hell to them.
I think of the earth as purgatory, though.
No, they had to go in weeds and thistles, and I mean, think about it. What we have to we step on thorns when we go out barefooted.
I think they were at. I think the garden. I think the Garden of Eden, but I think the Garden of Eden is a higher plane of existence. I think they got sent down to earth.
I agree with you there too, but I'm just pointing out that it says all scriptures are inspired and beneficial for teaching, and I think all scriptures have more than one meaning.
I think there's good and bad, and in the place that Adam and Eve were sent to. Before, they were only in a place of good, and then they fell for corruption. And once they opened that Pandora's box, then they were susceptible to both good and evil. And then they had to navigate it like we do today to get either to a higher plane of existence, or if we choose to, internally battle that.
You know what really wakes me up a little bit to a lot of things? It's like when God created that Garden of Eden, God created Adam and Eve, and when we're reading that, we don't realize God knows the future already. God already knows the future. He knows what he's doing before he even does it. He knows what's going to happen before. He can think ahead. It's like we can still do the same thing because we're made in the image of him. We can build something and know exactly how we want it to work, whether it works the way we do. But most of the time when we build something, it works the way we plan it to work because we work in the same image of God, but in the limited atmosphere and the building tools that we got. God works in a higher level than we do. So when he made that Garden of Eden, set Adam and Eve in those within that realm, whether it was on Earth in a tiny little area in Earth that was a paradise, who knows how big it was? I mean, that's not the point. But the point is like he put him there. He knew he put that tree there for a purpose. He knew he was not just testing Adam and Eve, he was testing the angels in heaven too. And he didn't tell everybody what they were doing at the time. But another thing is like we always forget the fact that it was let us make man in our image. God, the firstborn of all creation, created other beings, and it was he said the firstborn out of, because even Jehovah God says in the Bible, I was the firstborn and I will be, no more will come after me, because the Father already told him, you are my one and only, pretty much. So after that, at the Garden of Eden, it's just you can't go any farther and end that. You can't. I mean, from my understanding, you can't. You got to elaborate on that. At least I think you got to look into the bigger picture of the Genesis, because he knew the future. He knew what he was doing. Even though they failed, he already had the plan. Everything was set up from the get-go.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let me, Bossman, I'm about to give you the floor. I was going to pull up your question next, but I want to say hi to Bambi. Thank you for making it in. And she also says hell is very real. Bossman, I knew you wanted to jump in this, so go ahead.
It's just going to real quick question for Premier. What church, if any, are you affiliated with?
Well, right now I'm not affiliated with any. I really admire the 7-Day Saints. I like the 7-Day Adventists and the Jehovah's Witnesses. They have very good. I think they have solid understanding.
Jehovah's Witnesses is a cult, so I would stay away from them.
Well, they're all cults. They're all three of them are cults.
No. Jehovah's Witness has very that they believe Jesus is a created being, which is not true. And then,
technically, Jehovah is Jesus.
I had you pegged for
Jehovah himself said that he was created, the firstborn of all creation. So God himself said he was created.
He said before
before
Abraham, I am. And then
I know, but even I can't remember. I'll find the scripture for you. Give me a moment. I will look that up if you will.
He was created anyway. I had you pegged Mormon, which is another.
But also, Premier, with that, when you came on, that you also said there could only be one true religion. Do you believe that the religion
but I believe that there is only one true religion, but I think that all religion could still lead to God. But there's only one true.
I got to get some sleep, but stay away from Jehovah's Witness. Very horrible people.
Well, believe me, they're the ones that I don't hold it against them, because if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have not seeked more truth. So regardless of the fact that I was.
They're good at what they do.
I've been through them. I broke free. I broke free from their.
They are very good at what they do, but they twist scripture. They've rewritten the Bible, and they have.
They opened my mind. I really believe all they did is that. I mean, that it might be bad for a lot of other people, but I think they rip through religion, and I think they're a good part of whatever false religions,
John, hold on. John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God."
They added the word was a God.
The Word was a God. They changed it. They've changed their Bible so many times to fit their narrative. Anyway, do what you want. I'll pray for you. If you're with them, you're involved with a cult. So do what you want.
No, I've been disfellowshipped, and I'm not with them. I'm just you gotta be able to not let any religion affect it. You do not need nobody to teach you. That's what it says in the Bible. You don't need Jehovah's Witnesses.
You're being misled by them. You're being misled by them. But do what you need to do, bro. Good night.
Premier, and I don't have like I said, I don't have a problem with earthly religions. I think there is too much man influence in it, and that's where religion can get pulled in different directions. The biggest issue I find with Jehovah's Witnesses is the set number of people that are allowed to make it into heaven. That is strange to me. That there's
that's the whole thing. There's a special amount of people that do certain things that are supposed to be preached, and they were first fruits to God. But then when you look it up and you look into it, you don't even have to be a virgin. You just have to be a virgin for what? To understand that is like, you have to understand it. Like, I have a kid. I can't be 144,000. Some people have been divorced and claim that there are 144,000 in a Jehovah's Witness cult. It is a cult, and so is Mormonism. So is any type of organized. It's a definition. Any type of organized religion or belief system is considered a cult. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's nothing wrong with having a good cult. As long as it's not an evil cult. As long as it's not an evil cult, because a cult is a group of people. Man, it's better than a gang. It's better than a gang, but guess what? Guess what? Gang is the same thing as a cult. If you want to relate to
the problem and what makes a cult different than a religion, and I do think they follow some. Well, I do think they follow some of the same guidelines. The problem is, if a religion was to change and lead you down a bad route, would you be able to determine, hey, This has changed directions. This is away from what I consider the word of God, and separate yourself from it, because that's important.
You would know. The one thing I would look out for is if it makes you bow down to something that's not God. If it makes you bow down to anything, it's not a religion, it's a cult. If it makes you forces you to pay a certain fee to be a part of the thing, then it's a cult. If it makes you feel guilty and forces you to put, but it's standard in the Bible though. You got to give 10%, right? According to what I said. No, I really know that Jesus doesn't wants you. He gave there's the one widow that gave like what everything she had. So there's just it's all about faith and understanding, in my opinion. It's not about religion. It's about you could be happy with your religion because you have a lot of comfortable people believing the same exact doctrine. And the main doctrine, as long as you believe in the three concepts it says in the Bible, then you're a certified Christian. And you're just going after in a different direction of understanding. I don't know if that's a sin or not, man. I'm not a judge. God didn't give me no authority to tell anybody that they're wrong. It's just I really think that everybody should just pray and let the Spirit help them, guide them to make sure that they're in the right one. And they because there's a lot of deceivers. That's what it says right in the book. That's why we know we're in the last days, because there's over 60,000 different Christian denominations. How could you be in the right one and not be in being? Many will come in the basis of my name or in my name, claiming that I know Christ or I am the Christ, and mislead many. And if you don't recognize that and then question every religion that you come across, then you're not seeking God truthfully.
Yeah,
You're
or
just
he's
taking the easy
susceptible
way
to
out.
falling into to the false ideology. Let me catch up the chat a little bit, and then I'm actually probably going to wrap up. I'm almost at 5 hours. Baby said I came into the Roman Catholic, going out Roman Catholic, but I'm not big on organized religion. If you look under a rock, I am there. God does not say you have to try organized religion to have faith or believe. Faith and belief it is all you can is all you need. You don't need some fat preacher. You don't need a building. I agree with that, and I do think people get led astray by false ideologies and false gods and all of these things, cults, however you want to put it. And I even think it happens through religion and through man. And this is why we were talking about the Christian Crusades. I don't blame Catholics for some of the horrors that priests did to children. I think that's people using power and position and authority to do bad things, but I don't blame Catholicism for it. I think we can separate that and know this is man's corruption getting involved in power positions or in positions of power where they, use their authority to take advantage of others. And I was actually talking about it with the Pope as well. I think the Pope is a very clear example of something that is a false idol. I don't think it makes sense that people weep at his feet. I don't think it's makes sense that people, need this middle ground to the word of God. I also don't think, there's a lot of prime examples that we have in the world today where people could be led astray from what I would consider what the word of God is. But that's coming from somebody like me who doesn't believe in earthly religion. I believe in a higher power, but I can't put my finger on who's got it right, because I think most of them are based on older texts.
That's the whole thing is maybe the only person that got it right is the one that's not like pointing a finger at one religion's in the right. And I bet you this, there is no one religion that's right. There's probably no religion. I think that the one person that's got it right's finally broken free from all the distractions in this reality. We are the one religion is love. The true religion is love and understanding, and that's it. Ain't nobody gonna go to hell if they have love, joy, peace, if they could be very kind and suffer through kindness, they have goodness and they have faith.
You know.
Let me ask you a question.
Self-control is the hardest one.
Let me ask you a question, because I think this is kind of a topic we touched on earlier, but I think it makes it hard to follow things. So if you have a region or a state or a country that is also the same religion as its people, and we were using the Jewish people and Israel as the example. If you were to go to war with with the political views of Israel, are you doing it on behalf of the Jewish people, or is it because the Israeli government might be influencing it, and because it's to me, it's like, let me premise it first, because to me it's like, if America tells me to go to war or drafts me for the war for whatever political gains that they have, it doesn't mean it's a good thing to go fight for your country and do unjust things. Even though my country is telling me to do it, I could be, considered good in the eyes of my country, but it doesn't mean I'm committing a good act. Could that happen as well with a people that are following, what their government's telling them to do, or their government disguised as the Jewish people?
Exactly. I mean, I agree with you 100% on that. I think that's exactly you cannot go to war in any sense, because there's no Christian war that was fought besides the ones that were in ancient Bibles. Anytime you're killing somebody without justification, without because God doesn't need you to kill people. God can kill people by plague or by whatever. We don't need to fight. I mean, any war that was ever fought, from my understanding, is never been fought by human hands and won. Like even Solomon, the angels killed all the soldiers. There was no soldier had to fight. It's just that when God really does stuff, he does it himself. He even says, like, let him put your enemies below his feet. His job, he'll take the vengeance upon you. And your love for him, he'll do it. That's the whole thing. That's the power of God. And anybody that believes in him, you literally have the keys to heaven. And I if I have the keys to heaven, I'll share with anybody that has it, because we're all after the same goal, God's goal, the will of God. What is the will of God? The will of God is for his will to be done. And if you don't understand the will of God, which is free will, into him, he doesn't want to force you to serve him. He wants you to just admire and worship and love him, and worship in the obedience. The obedience of the Lord, the fear of the Lord is the fear to break his heart. And you said that earlier. That's why I know you're on the right page of a lot of stuff that I know.
Bambi said, the Civil War is our God-given right to own slaves. Slaves were in the Bible. You'd think an ominous being with powerful knowledge like God would not have to put something like slavery into the word of man and give it to his people. You don't think slavery would be one of those things on the list, or how to beat your wife, or you'd think those things would be excluded, but apparently God's not above slavery.
No, God doesn't even want you to be slave. He wants you to enjoy what you're doing.
Why are there writings in the Bible to teach you how to teach your slaves, though, or how to treat your slaves?
That's a good question. But there's definitely a understanding to that, because there was a lot of slaves back in those days. But that's what he was in. It was a metaphor in most of those things. It was a metaphor to explain you can't make your master happy, and your master is God. And you can't make two people happy. You can't serve two people and make them both happy at once. You can't serve evil and make evil happy and at the same time. That's where it references slaves in the Bible. That the only one time that I remember it, when Jesus said you can't serve two masters.
Yeah. So I mean, it's easy to be led astray in religion. It takes a lot of figuring out yourself and navigating through what I think is years and years of bullshit and corruption by man. But I do think religion is a necessary tool.